Hi guys, this is your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz. Welcome back to my commentary channel where we speak about movie, TV, and soon to come books and everything I like, dislike, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all thrown in between those frames of media. Okay, this is going to be a full review of season 4 of High School Musical, the musical, the series. Disclaimers, these people are not real, these are my personal opinions. I will have some positive things to say, I might have some negative things to say. Some of the positive things I have to say, some of you might not agree with, or some of the negative things you will flip it and reverse it. All right, so just a disclaimer, if you disagree you can say why down below respectfully, and if you are so angry at whatever I have to say that you are like, hell nah, I can't stand this V, the dislike button is right there. That's what it's for. If you are so uncontrollable you feel like you have to be rude, disrespect me with a dislike button. Okay, so let me talk about the music first. The music is really good. I loved every single song that was played except the Halloween song. I felt like it was so unnecessary and it kind of brought me out of the show in its entirety. So I didn't like that, but I liked every other song. I loved all the music. I might bring up specific songs with specific people, but just an overall, the music was a 10 out of 10, which makes this season the best season musically. I know it's a very unpopular opinion because y'all love Olivia Rodrigo, and how could I say that? Some of the best music scenes in this show were Olivia. Like, she did some of the best singing, the best songwriting as Nene, but it was good. But I'm talking about holistically, like everybody singing and having good stuff. Yeah, this season was the best. It wasn't just like one or two people like it has been every other season. It was everybody this season, and I really appreciated it. And so that's why I'm gonna give the music a 10 out of 10. The story, I'll have to give the story itself a 6. There were a lot of things that I really didn't understand, and then afterwards they made some things better, but other things just left like a sour taste in my mouth. I will explain those things a little later on in the video. What else do I need to discuss? The ships, it's a 7 out of 10. I know, you're a Rena shipper. How is it not a 10 out of 10? Rena wasn't enough for me this season. I'll explain why. I think I just realized that I might not even be... I'll get into it. So let's just go character by character. Let's start with Gina. Gina is best girl. She's blameless. And honestly, I don't understand why other people cannot be like her. There's been a lot of emotional cheating going on and physical cheating going on, and Gina and Ricky, Gina and EJ tend to be the only people who don't cross that line, you know. Oh, and also Courtney, but we're not really going to bring that up because Courtney barely gets a decent relationship, okay? And I'm going to complain about that next, so don't worry about it. I didn't like what was happening with the relationships, but I'll give Gina the one up here. She had to go through a lot this season. She had to go through juggling her home life, her family life, being closely connected with someone she's always been obsessed with, but also getting the relationship that she always dreamed. I am glad though in the end that she kept the role. I'm a little annoyed that she kept the role in Salt Lake. I understand why she did it, before y'all get at me. I understand why she did it, and I'm glad that it worked out for her. But I was just kind of hoping that her and Ricky could have done long distance. Like, if you really love me, like let's be about it. Like, come on now. But I guess this is the best case scenario. I love their song. Maybe this time. Oh, it was gorgeous. That song was beautiful. Some of her best work vocally. And them together just sounds really good. Like, hold up. Like, as a Rena stan, I really enjoyed their moments together. I enjoyed Ricky telling Gina that, you know, I don't think I've ever forgotten a thing you've ever said. Wow. Those are the Wattpad moments we wanted this season. It's the Wattpad moments that we deserve. Okay? And I really loved that. I loved Gina this entire season. She couldn't do anything wrong in my eyes. I loved the kind of like the flashbacks and everything that was going on with her. I'm not going to talk super long about everybody, because really it's just about how I feel about the characters now. Gina has always been my favorite character because I've always loved her drive. And I'm glad that she's finally breaking into Hollywood, because that's who we knew her to be the second we saw her on this show. We were like, yep, she's a star. We were just kind of waiting for everybody else to catch up to that. And I'm very happy that by the end of this show, everybody caught up to the fact that Gina is a star. However, I think that's all I have to say about Gina right now. I will bring her up when it comes to Ricky and other characters, but for right now, by herself, this is what I have to say. Talking about stars, Courtney, I feel like she's a star too. As I've said multiple times, she has the best voice in the show, uncontested. I said what I said. Now, this is about belt, runs, strength, right? There are lots of people on this show that have incredible voices. Ashlyn has one of the best voices on the show as well. But I think Courtney beats her strength-wise. And I've always been kind of annoyed. And this season kind of punctuated it with the way that they have placed her character, right? Like, even that moment that was supposed to be cute, that moment, like the first time she really sat down and had a conversation with Ashlyn. Ashlyn was the one who got her to join the show. And that was supposed to be cute, but the conversation that she had with Ashlyn, who I will talk about right after Courtney, was just like, oh, I don't know if I'll even get a part, blah, blah, blah. And Courtney has an incredible voice, but she was just okay being in the back. And the only reason I was okay with it is because she's a designer, and like, live whichever part of your dream you want to live at the moment. But it's just like, I thank God for season 3, because she needed to be at the front at some point. Like, that's not... What? And let's just get into her star quality. Her relationships. As I said before in my hour-long compilation where I put all my reviews together, I think that she deserved to have a little bit more main character treatment. Like, I think she deserved to be with Jet for however short. Or even in the last episode, for him to run up to her, tell her how beautiful she is, how much he thinks she's incredible, and then just kiss her. And have that be it. We don't even need to know if it went anywhere past that. But for them to share a kiss and for him to share his feelings, and for her to say, I always thought you were interesting, that's all I wanted. And I didn't get that. And that pisses me off. Very, very, very much so. Because I just feel like she deserves that. I really like Jet. I like Jet and her together. I like how soft Jet is around her. Like, he's known as like the new Gina mixed with a little bit of Ricky. But when he's around Courtney, he like bumbles around. He doesn't know how to talk. Like, it's cute. Like, why couldn't I get that moment? Why couldn't I get that moment fully? It even came to the point where Gina was saying, nigga, you better ask her out. I don't know what you're trying to do. And then I was like, okay, obviously something is going to happen. It might be small, but I think the show, I would have rated the show a 9 if I got Jet and Courtney. But no. Everybody just alludes to the fact that he should shoot his shot. He kind of half shoots his shot by giving her some confidence before she goes on stage, which I loved. But that was it. And I'm like, she deserved one more. She deserved the full caveat in minimum. Like, what? Ugh. Always underutilizing her. The one thing I will give them though is that they always made sure she was the best dressed. I love that for her. Always made sure she looked great no matter what situation. I love that. Also, they finally took whatever they put on her voice to make her not sound as good as everybody else. Because there are some times where she would sound pitchy, like they put a vocoder on her or auto-tune, and it's like, why would you do that? But this season, last season and this season, they took it off of her voice, and I really do appreciate that. Because Courtney is one of my favorites as well. It's Gina, then Courtney. And I'm just so happy that they did that for her. I'm just so happy. Like, honestly, justice for Courtney, in my personal opinion. Like, I'm gonna need like a mini special episode where Jet goes to the college and asks her to be with him. Like, I'm gonna need that, because honestly, I don't understand why the two people who deserve it don't get it, but two people who have been emotionally and physically cheating on each other get to have their time. Before I get into that, the scene with Courtney in the church singing, oh, it was so good. I loved all of the people around her being like, damn, she's a really good singer. Because that's one of the problems with this show. like, they know what they have, and sometimes they don't always use it, but I like the kind of fourth wall break of like, dang, she really good, she really fire for real. Like, I was happy that, like, I'm like, okay, good, I'm not crazy, I'm not the only one who's like, dang, Courtney really got vocals. Like, y'all are aware that Courtney got vocals. Okay, cool. Anyway, let's get into Ashlyn and Big Red. And we'll throw Maddox in there, and we'll throw Seb in there, okay? So just all the little cavortes. And Lumiere boy. So let's just talk about Big Red and Lumiere boy. I don't get it. Honestly, let me not say that. Lumiere boy being completely gay and liking Big Red the whole time is actually... it makes sense. It makes sense. What I don't like is the vilification of Big Red's character. Big Red was some person who you would never expect to cheat. He would be the type to like be like, oh, I feel like I like somebody else. How am I gonna tell Ashlyn? He would be the type to more worry over how to tell Ashlyn that he might even be feeling somebody else and possibly break up. He would be that type. He wouldn't be the type to actually kiss Seb. Like, can we have that conversation? Can we have that conversation? Like, that, I don't like how they assassinated his character. Like, let him be bi, whatever. As I've said before, it made more sense for him to be bi. Like, we could see that than Ashlyn, to be very honest with you. But it's like, come on now. Really? He's gonna kiss Seb? That makes sense to you? That makes sense to anybody? I don't get that. I don't get that. Also, I'll give Big Red this for a good thing. His voice got better. Everybody's voices got better. I'm like, I didn't bring this up, but Gina and EJ, best improved, because we all know they weren't the best singers in the beginning, but they have gotten so good. I was like, wait a minute. I'll talk about EJ after this section. Anyways, so I was just confused by that because it just doesn't seem like him. And even the way he spoke to her about it, so casual. And then you know, she was upset for a second, but she was like, you know what, I'm bad too, I'm feeling somebody else too. And they just kind of broke up, and they kept saying in exposition form, wasn't this a beautiful breakup? I'm like, what's beautiful about this? You both technically cheated on each other and then broke up. Are you saying it's beautiful because you're not mad at each other and you can still have somewhat of a friendship? Like, here's the thing. A lot of people have been saying that Big Red and Ashlyn don't have any chemistry. I agree. I think personally, both of those actors don't necessarily have chemistry because, number one, Big Red always gave queer, and so him being with Ashlyn, it just kind of seemed a little mismatch. But he was such a nice guy that we shipped it. Ashlyn doesn't really have chemistry with anybody. She has a lot of friend chemistry. It's my personal opinion. I don't really think she has chemistry with Maddox. She just kind of has a friend chemistry. However, that song that she sang with Maddox was beautiful. That's one of my favorite songs in the show. Maybe This Time, and that one, Call It What You Will. Oh, those songs are so good. I was like, oh my god, awesome songs. Yes, to me, they had a few moments, but with Ashlyn and Maddox, it wasn't like continuous, like every time they were alone together you could feel it. It was like in very specific moments, like when Courtney was trying to talk to them while they were in Miss Jarvis's teaching room and they weren't paying attention to her. That was an obvious moment. And then the moment where they almost kissed, like, I feel like the moments that they have are like obviously scripted moments. There's not chemistry. It's just like, see, they're looking into each other's eyes. See, they almost kissed. It's like, because for example, with Ricky and Gina, they would just be talking about their family lives and you could feel the relationship chemistry between them. I don't really see that with Ashlyn. With Ashlyn and Maddox, it seems to be a lot of exposition. Like, you know, they like each other because they talk all the time off screen. You know, they like each other because they stare at each other this one time and compliment each other's outfits. You know they like each other because obviously they were just about to kiss, and because Marks was kind of looking at her away when she was singing this song. Like, I feel like, and you can disagree with me, I feel like their moments were a little too scripted. It didn't feel as natural. So I don't really have a problem with their relationship, but it was lacking chemistry for me, and I can't help that. Now, this does not mean that she needs to be with Big Red. That's not what it means. But I just don't like the way that they broke it up. I feel like they could have broken up with Big Red a lot better. Like, they didn't have to make Big Red a cheater. Because here's what it feels like to me, and you can tell me if you don't agree with this, it's fine. They vilified Big Red just to make it okay for her to have emotionally cheated, because at least she didn't physically cheat. and then to also make it okay for her to be bi. You know, like just to kind of ease us as the audience into that transition. Oh, let's have Big Red kiss Seb. Everybody thought he was gay anyways. Let's just make him kiss Seb. And so then Ashlyn, and so that's the way the people don't have to crucify Ashlyn. Because I know some people were upset with Ashlyn. I was as well. So people don't have to crucify Ashlyn now. You know, it's fine. And here's the thing about that. Ashlyn was wrong. Seb kissing Red doesn't change that. She was wrong. And this is my personal opinion outside of the show. If I'm dating somebody and they come out to me as bi, I'm breaking up with them. Let me explain why, right? What happened for you to know that for sure? For you to think maybe I could be, that's one thing. For you to actually be it before we get together and it's a predetermined thing, that's one thing. But for you to be one way and then to be like switch up once we're together, I'm dumping you. Here's why. To find out a sexual orientation like that, you would have had to do some level of cheating. Whether it's emotional or physical. You cheated on me. I'm leaving you. And this is Big Red and Ashlyn. Both of them. I would have left either of them. Because you're not going to tell me that we were together the whole time. And now all of a sudden you like the same gender as well? How'd you find that out? Oh, I didn't kiss anybody, but I had this moment with this girl. Oh, I kissed this guy. Or I didn't kiss anybody, but I was looking into their eyes and he touched my shoulder and there's flowers. I'm like, oh. Because here's the thing. Because I know people are going to disagree with me. You're not allowing people to grow. Grow without me. Break up with me. Do it. Please. Because that means that you have feelings. You found out that you're bi because you have feelings. Now, finding somebody attractive is one thing. Lots of men think that other men are cute without thinking that they're bi. For you to know that you're bi, it goes further than, oh, that nigga kind of cute. It goes to, I would fuck that nigga. And if you are having those feelings, don't date me. Don't continue to date me. That's big red flag energy. No. Because that means that you cheat. That means that you would cheat on me, or that you already have. Because here's the thing. You would have had to have cheated in some capacity to find that out. That's my thoughts on it. That is my thoughts on it. And plus, in also my personal opinion, I almost forgot this. This is you falling for somebody else, having feelings at the very least for somebody else. When you're with me, you're not supposed to have feelings for somebody else. You're not supposed to. Now, this might be harsh. It might be like I put a line in the sand, and it might, limit options or whatever. But it's just me, and you have to be true to yourself. Ashlyn and Big Red were true to themselves, and they're lucky that both of their partners felt the exact same way, so they were able to break up amicably. But in my personal opinion, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm leaving you, and not because I felt for somebody else, because I'm leaving you. We're not. That's just weird to me, and I feel like both of their characters have been very much reduced and reducted. Ashlyn and Big Red are some of the best characters in the show. So loyal, so great. They deserve good love. They deserve that. But this was just messy, and I don't necessarily love mess. It's one of the reasons I've been mad at Ricky for years, because of what he did to Gina. Not just because I think they should be together, but because it's messy. You know what I mean? And I don't particularly love mess like this. It's like, ugh, how can you be with somebody after that? Anyways, I feel sorry for Carlos. Let's go into Carlos. He didn't deserve that. I've been saying for a while now, like, instead of making Ashlyn bi, because you're not even really going to go into it and explain what being bi means, you're just going to set her up with a girl, because people just love a queer relationship despite the way that it's written. Why don't you use the queer person that you already have in the show and build on him? I didn't learn anything new about Carlos today except the fact that he was bullied, which is already a stereotype of being an out flamboyant gay guy. I didn't learn anything new about him. And plus you also vilified Seb. Everybody was calling him a puppy dog today. It was like, exactly. You don't expect Seb to do that. And with Big Red, like, what? Justice for Carlos. Justice for his character development. Justice for his storyline. Justice for Carlos. And wow, Seb. Wow. And also, Seb has one of the best voices in the show as well, and they underutilize his voice all the time. Like, it's giving Glee a little bit. Am I bugging? It's giving, Mr. Schuster, he has all these great singers, but he only picks like 2 or 3 niggas to sing. It's giving Glee a little bit. And I'm not saying Miss Jen. I'm talking about the entire show. Because Miss Jen gives everybody a chance. But like, the way the singing be going sometimes, it's like, come on, you be acting like you don't know the voices you have. Disney. Okay. Let's talk about Emmy for 5 seconds. She's great. She's funny. I like the way she was characterized. She's a cute new character, and her voice is incredible. I know I didn't get to say that in the last one because I didn't hear her much. I apologize. I literally downplayed her. Great vocals. I loved her song. Like I said, every song was good except the Halloween one, but her vocals in the Halloween song were incredible. She be hitting them runs like she on track. Hold up. Okay, Richard Bowen, disappointment. Oh, but what's new? What is new with that? Look, when it comes to Ricky, I'm glad he said it first. I'm glad he said I love you first, because honestly, if Gina had to say it, I wouldn't have made a video. I wouldn't have. If you watched the last episode of High School Musical, the Musical, the series review, season 3, one thing I did not appreciate, even though I was so happy that Rena was finally a thing, is that Gina once again had to say the feelings first for Ricky to then initiate something. And I don't like that. And I like how Gina said that she is so sick and tired of doing everything first. I didn't realize she did it first with EJ, but now that I'm thinking about it, she probably did. But one thing that I will give EJ though is that he doesn't need to be told 3 different times. Like, Gina has kind of like admitted her feelings to Ricky like 3 different times now. Like, all Gina had to do was admit her feelings one time, and then he just had to think about it really hard, and he was like, you know what, yeah, I want that. So I needed Ricky to do more. I think it's really weird that Ricky just keeps going back to old habits. Like, you want to lose her the way you lost Nene? Like, is that what we're doing here? Richard Bowen? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Ricky needs help. He is a broken little boy. He doesn't even think about college. He gets all this stuff handed to him. He got the city college thing handed to him. It's like, bro, like, I wanted to see him grow this season. And I feel like the only growth he did was in being like, okay, let me at least tell this girl that I'm dating that I love her. I'll grow that much. That's not enough for me. Everybody in this show got either a regression or a growth. I needed Ricky to have a growth. I needed Ricky to have a growth, a real growth, not just let me at least say I love you. And I know this is a growth. It is a growth. I know it is a lot. He has a fear of commitment because of everything that's happened in his life. So it is a growth. And like I said, as a Rena stan, I appreciate it. I loved his song. It gave me emotions. So I loved it. But I don't like how jealous he was towards Mac when there was obviously nothing to worry about, because Gina's one of the most loyal people in the show, and even I know that. And I don't really appreciate how he couldn't even try to focus on his life. Like, here's the thing, right? I don't really appreciate Gina's mom the whole time, but I can see why she would pick Mac over Ricky at the time. Like, Ricky just doesn't do anything unless it involves a girl. Like, he doesn't really have much ambition at all. And I feel like one of the reasons why EJ and Gina were so good together is because they both had the same level of drive. They did. Now, I know Portwell shippers are a dime a dozen, but I could see where the Portwell shippers were coming from. Liking EJ and Gina, like, it makes sense. And here's the thing. I have been a Gina and Ricky stan since the first season. I have. But Ricky needs to do a little bit better. Or I guess the show is over. I wish they had done a little bit more with his character. And here's the reason why I'm saying this. This show surprised me. The first time I wanted to watch this show, I thought it was going to be absolute ass. But I was wrong. This show has given so much depth to characters, so much emotion, so much feeling, that this season, while it was good, I felt like it lacked a few nuggets of the emotional depth for individual characters. Sure, they had overall emotional depth. There was a lot of, the first time I met you, this is what was going on, blah, blah, blah. We became friends, blah, blah, blah. I've grown past it. But like, personal character development has been lacking for a lot of the characters this season. And I'm not sure why they made the choice to do that, knowing that this was the last season. I heard one of the writers or producers, somebody, Tom Federline or something like that, he was hoping that this would have been the new Degrassi, like there would have been like 11 seasons. And I guess that means that when these guys fizzled out, he would have had new characters. Honestly, I'm kind of glad it ended here. Degrassi is a dime a dozen. The good seasons are hotly debated, and Degrassi is one of my favorite shows, actually, but it's a guilty pleasure because it's not very well written all the time. But you know, I don't think it would have been sustainable with a story like this. They would have had to make it another show. They would have had to make it a totally different show that's not necessarily High School Musical based. But with the time that you know you had left, why couldn't you wrap certain things up just a little bit better? And this is me just nitpicking and saying what I wish. So you don't have to agree. It's my personal opinion. But yeah, I wish Ricky did a little better. He was kind of being a little pathetic this season. And I'm sad to say that when I finally get to see him with Gina, he's being a little bit pathetic when it comes to his own future. You know? But he had some great moments. And I love Ricky. And I love him for Gina. So I guess that's good enough. Who else do I need to talk about? There's so much to talk about. I liked Mac and Danny. I was a little disappointed with Mac's progression, but then I understand that they couldn't make Mac too deep because then it would have been another love triangle, and I don't think they really had time to have Gina have feelings for anybody else. Also, I just said she's one of the most loyal people in the show, so they probably didn't want to break that by making Mac likable in that sort of deep way, so that's fine. I like how Danny seemed to be sort of a not nice person, but she was like just a little bit misunderstood and was ready to learn. I loved that. I loved how she kind of went under Miss Jen and Courtney. I love that. Yeah. Maddox, I enjoyed the progression of her character a little. I like how she was getting ready to let go of Madison. I like how off-screen Madison knew what was up, what the writers wrote, and was willing to help her out with that. That's great. I love her relationship with her brother. I love that was fully fixed, because I didn't fully get it in season 3. I was like, girl, I get some of this stuff, but like, come on now. I think Maddox is a very interesting character, and I think she was kind of underutilized, and she could have been written a little better. That's what I'll say. Jet, my boy. I love Jet with every fiber of my being. I think he's always been underutilized. I think he has one of the best male voices in the show as well, and that was... They gave him that one incredible song, those 2 incredible moments, and then this season said, he's just there in the back to harmonize. What? Why did you underutilize Jet's voice like that? First, you just tease him and Courtney because you want to torture me. Then you underutilize his voice so I can't even get a Jet song this season. I wanted a Jet song. I would have given this a 10 out of 10 if you gave me a Jet song. Oh, him singing about his feelings for Courtney. He didn't even need to sing it to her, but like singing alone about how much he feels about Courtney. That would have given the show a 13 out of 10 for me. Because I love Aiden Lyle's voice. I love it. Adrian Lyle's voice. I love him. He's really cute. I really like him. He's great. Yeah. EJ, y'all are not gonna like me for this. I feel sorry for EJ, okay? I've always liked EJ. One of the things that I've always liked about him and Gina is that they always grown together. Even before they were together, they grew together, and I really like that about their relationship. With Portwell, it was a smell the roses ship, and let me explain what that is once again for the uninitiated. A smell the roses ship is a ship that you get on the way to the destination of the one true pairing, on the way to the end game. Sometimes those ships are good. I usually call it a smell the roses ship if I enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, it's just like a side ship. But if it's a smell the roses ship, it means that I really enjoyed it and I really liked it. And I really liked the idea of Portwell. I had to watch this season to realize that I'm actually kind of a Portwell stan. I know. Like I said, Gina and Ricky forever. And in the end, I have so much gooey feelings for them. But every time they would pan over to EJ, I would feel sadness. Because I feel like if they at least gave the relationship a chance before they broke it up, and then broke it up better, I would have been happier. Because To hear EJ spout so much regret, to see him fight so fiercely for Gina, to see Gina tell EJ first what was going on, just to see the progression of their friendship and how even that was destroyed because they even attempted to date. Like, that's just so sad to me. Because she says that Ricky always understood her, and yes, he understood it to a certain degree, but I feel like one of the reasons why she stayed here is also because EJ understood her. EJ understood the place that she put herself when she came to this school. The person that she made herself out to be at first, EJ understood that, and they both grew from that, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I felt so bad for EJ, bro. Like, it made me realize that I really wish that he had Gina. Not just anybody, not just some random girl. I wish he had Gina in another universe where Ricky does not exist and that chemistry was not so evident, because he had chemistry with Gina too. And EJ is a beautiful man. I'm sorry. EJ is cuter than Ricky, but Ricky and Gina have way more chemistry. I'm sorry. They do. But with Portwell, I'm sorry that ship died. I'm not gonna like dance over it like other people are. I'm not happy that it died the way that it did. I wish that it had been given a little bit more respect. Yeah. Miss Jed. I'm sorry. I'm glad she finally broke up with the dad, because, you know, sometimes you're just not compatible with people. And I liked that message in the show. Also, I love her moment with Mr. Mazzara. I love when Mr. Mazzara was like, us, and touched her face. I'm like, first of all, I needed, like Jed and Courtney, I needed a little bit more with her and Mr. Mazzara, because they have been building that up to the point where even EJ was like, finally, like, we needed a little bit more of her and Mr. Mazzara, in my personal opinion. Also, I don't really like that she gave up Broadway. I know Broadway is a little bit harder to schedule. Like, you can't just say, I'm going to be a teacher and be on Broadway. But technically, all you have to do is learn the lines and then just be on wherever they want you to be. I don't know. I just wish that Jen could have gotten that part of her dream too. I am glad, however, that she did pick the students, because I feel like she was born to be a teacher. I don't really like that they were insinuating that EJ should be a teacher. Yes, he's a great person and I can see him counseling people, but I don't know. They're kind of making it seem like EJ peaked in high school, and I don't really want him to come back to high school like that. But yeah. Yes, I was one of the people who was hoping that they were misdirecting us and they would be like, even just like a video call cameo from Zach, Ashley, and Vanessa, but it didn't happen, and it's okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. It was a beautiful show. It subverted a lot of my expectations, and I liked it a lot better than I thought I would have. As I said before, I started this show because I thought it was going to be bad, and I wanted to watch a few episodes just to validate that I was right, but I was wrong. And it was a beautiful show, and I'm glad that it ended here. However, I will always be upset that they never gave Courtney and Jed a chance, and that's the thing that it disappointed me the most. Because everything else that I may have been passionate about, I didn't really care, but I really did care about Jed and Courtney. I feel like they deserved that. They deserved the chance. But it's okay. I'd also made a voice note about this prior. I don't know why, but I might just post the clips of that voice note in a bunch of shorts and, you know, see y'all get upset about my prior opinions. This is before I saw episode 8, so I was a lot more upset. But yeah, I'll probably put those in short form and post them on my channel throughout the year since the show is done. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please let me know your thoughts down below. Let's have discourse. It's the end of the show, so, you know, whatever is whatever. Anyways, goodbye, my sires. Susu. Also, let me know what you want me to watch next.